One of the reasons it's so hard to connect with other guys and other people in general is this need to protect something inside ourselves we don't want others to see. We might feel unworthy, or we might feel a little sensitive or vulnerable about things, or might not seem that we have a certain characteristic that will be acceptable to other people. And so we kind of keep that guard up. And I recently had a birthday, and when I was scrolling through my feed just to, see the birthday greetings and things, I noticed a big trend in Facebook was these birthday avatars. And they actually cracked me up because a lot of times, well, they all looked kind of similar. They all had the same pose and the same kind of frame and all of that. It just, the only thing that changed maybe was the person's skin tone and their hair. But their expression was pretty much the same. The way that their body looked was pretty much the same. And in scrolling through them, it just made me laugh, mainly because I knew who these people were. And I'm like, that's not how that person looks. That's not how that person's personality is. That doesn't really seem like them. And the reason I bring this up is because avatars or personas or these facades that we put on are really just kind of like an exterior to keep people kind of a little bit at bay, maybe, or just to kind of present a version of ourselves that might be a little bit more appropriate or a little bit more acceptable or on trend or whatever kind of phrase you want to put with it. It's a quick fix sometimes. Sometimes you just want to put that avatar up there because it's really easy. Facebook makes it easy, that kind of thing. And so it's out of convenience. Because relating and connection are really challenging sometimes. That means you have to really bring on your true self. It means you have to be authentic. It means you have to let down the wall and the barriers to connection in the first place. And so to do that just takes a bit of work. It's not easy to, especially if you've not had a lot of practice with it, to let somebody in, to really kind of be genuine with them. And as I mentioned in other videos, you don't want to necessarily throw up everything about yourself and just have no boundaries whatsoever. But at the same time, you have to let people have a little look inside, depending on where you are in that relationship, to let them see who you are. And so talking about and thinking about these avatars, I mean, they are really funny, but on the inside, it's not really who that person is. And it may seem safe, but it's a very quick and easy way to faux connect with somebody that's not really going to pull it off in the long term. And so you could have that personality in a party, for example, or you could have it, in a networking event, a business related situation. You may have a little bit of that if you're in a job interview. But if you're connecting with somebody on an intimate level, you really don't want to put that out there. And so to bring that facade down, or that avatar down for yourself, just really requires a lot of thinking about, a lot of personal reflection, a lot of introspection to kind of have an understanding of who you are, who is the best part of me that I want somebody to know. And in the gay community, again, it's very challenging because everything, especially with men, is very competitive. It's very much like how you look, or how much income you may be making, or where you live, or what kind of career that you have. Who are your friends? Who is in your circle? And so having all that into account, it becomes this, you're almost curating an image that can be very hard and tricky to navigate in the first place, that might be a little bit different, for example, outside of the community. But even in that, being able to reflect, to even with the friends that you may have, or even small instances with people that may be in your family or in your work relationships, find ways of letting that true self come out, and really you do a little bit of reflection on that. And at that point, do the little baby steps, the practice things where you just gonna give a little bit more of yourself to the other person. And that I found in my own personal life has really been helpful to make that connection and kind of bring that facade down. But we'll talk more about kind of the reasons why that we put those up and really a little bit more into how we might dismantle them.